the turning point of your life. There is a turning point at which your life begins to change and move in a direction that is deliberate, in a direction that is intentional. And it's not necessarily that is a change for the better. It can be a change for the worst. It just depends on the nature of the experience that drives the change. And this is observable in close proximity to your life. If you look out into the lives of others and then eventually into your own life, you can find that events happen, tragedies happen, dramas happen in your life that cause you to establish ideas, set your attention and your focus on an idea that leads you down a path to new experiences. These can be positive experiences, and they can be, as you term and deem them, negative experiences. It depends on the nature of the happening and the event and the way that you frame it in your mind. Benny had an event when he was younger where he tied his mother's spaghetti casserole with a stomach virus. Of course, they have nothing to do with each other. The stomach virus occurred. It made its way into his body. It made him sick. He couldn't keep food down for that evening, and he was young. He was a child. But he related the sickness. He connected the sickness with his mother's spaghetti casserole, which was a favorite dish, a favorite meal, not just for him, but for everyone in the family. Fantastic. But in his connected that sickness, that feeling of that evening with that particular meal, he set the idea in motion and created a mental framework around that food selection, around that meal that his mother made, that it equaled the dis-ease and sickness and the pain, the discomfort. And so he stopped eating it. For almost a year, he stopped eating his mother's spaghetti casserole because he associated it mentally and emotionally with discomfort and dis-ease. And many of you have done the same thing. You have done it in your relationships. An event happened that was positive, as you say, or negative, as you say, and it caused you, in reaction to the event, to set in motion a mentality, a state of mind, an emotional state that began to lead you down a path. Because when you establish an idea in the mind and you place your attention and your focus on that idea, you are creating the experience. You are birthing the experience for yourself. So let's take relationships, for example. If you have a bad breakup, or maybe your partner cheats on you and you believe that to be a bad thing or a not so great thing, and you establish an idea as a result of that you don't want to be cheated on. You're going to be looking for these same type behaviors in your next partner or your next partners. If they behave this way, if they talk this way, if they do these types of things, they may be a cheater. So this idea is lodged in your mind. You've allowed it. You have lodged this idea, this new mental framework that is connected to your intimate relationships that you want to establish. You want to have intimate relationships. You want to have marriages. You want to have all of these things. But this idea that you have set in motion in reaction to an experience, you have the image, you have the emotion tied to it. You've placed your attention on it and you're focused on it, but you're focused on something that you don't want. The source of the idea is fear. The source of the idea is insecurity, frustration, anger. And this is what is resonating from your being consistently. And you can be certain that that is what is reflected back to you. You can't be surprised that in your relationships, you find individuals to relate with that are cheaters, which is something that you do not want. Now, if it's something that you did want, it would be great. But it's something that you don't want often. And you can't be surprised that you continue to find it, that experience continues to repeat over and over again, because you have established it in reaction out of fear as an idea, a dominant idea that you hold your attention and your focus on. You are consistently placing that material inside of your creative process, and the creative process is at work perfectly and precisely. Placing the particles in motion, building the forms. The forms are coalescing and collaborating to yield the physical experience, and it moves and it lives and it breathes as a result of your attention and your focus, to the point where it is manifest and you can perceive it with your physical senses. And it appears repetitively over and over again, because you're holding your attention and your focus on that idea, and you are breathing it into experience. You are breathing it into experience over and over and over again, because you're holding your attention and your focus on that idea and inserting that material as a result into the creative process. In that moment where you had that experience and you interpreted it, and in reaction to that experience, you established an idea, that was a turning point, because it may have been the first time that you had experienced it. And yet you framed it in a negative way versus saying, hey, what can I learn from this experience? How can I be empowered from this experience? And what's also possible is that you observed that happening to someone else. It was never a part of your personal experience. It was never a reality that was based in your verse, the verse that you are expressing, but you observed that happening in someone else's experience. A friend, a family member had a terrible experience in relationship. They were in pain because of how they interpreted the experience and how they related the experience. They were in pain. You consoled them. You supported them. And at the same time, you accepted the possibility of that experience happening to you. You began to think about it. Oh, what if this happens to me? Oh, what if this person treated me that way? And you began to formulate the idea. You had the imagery of the experience of the friend. And in so doing and repeating that idea, because it's not something that you wanted, so you're focusing on something that you don't want, which is humanity's normal. You established it as an idea with emotion. Oh, that would be terrible. Oh, I would hate them so much if they did that to me. You established it as an idea. You held your attention and your focus on it subtly over time, and you manifested the experience, because you are a powerful creator. You have a creative process inside of you that is constantly in motion. And you are the sower of the material on which it works and expresses and builds and creates into physical reality, your physical reality. Perfectly and precisely. And yet in reaction to someone else's experience, you established an idea and a new reality. It was a turning point for you. You have to be conscious of your ideas. You have to be conscious of that which you are allowing in to the creative process, that which you are sowing. You have to be conscious of whether it is a reality that you desire or not. You have to be conscious of what you are intending, of where you're placing your attention and your focus. Because your life and the lives of those around you can establish turning points in the wrong direction if you allow them. You must focus on that which you desire. You must establish ideas rooted in that which you want to create, you want to experience. For the creative process knows not the difference. The creative process within does not make the distinction between desired and not desired, good or bad, high or low, big or small, positive or negative. All of these human terms, because we do not use these terms, they are not ideas that we utilize. There's no such thing. There's only experience created. This is the truth, and this is the highest idea that you might utilize. But in your current state of humanity's mind, you play with the ideas of high, low, good, bad, right, wrong, positive, negative, none of which are true. These are not truths. They serve to jar your energy frequencies and your tones when you suggest that there's a positive or negative and a high or a low experientially. There's merely experience. And because there's merely experience, you can choose the highest frequencies and the highest tones in which your experiences are born. But that is another conversation. You must choose. You must be the chooser, the intender. Utilize experience, manifested experience, as a means of contrast to further establish clarity on your intentions, on your desires, and then you focus on that. You place your attention on that. You feel it in the present moment as if it's real now, because it is real. It's just not perceivable yet by your physical senses. You have the power. You are responsible. You are immense. You are a creator. You are source energy. And there's nothing more that you need to know. Establish, root yourself into source. Establish and root yourself. Center yourself in the knowing, in the certainty that you are source, that you are creator. Establish it in your mind. There is no greater, more important idea. Repeat it, write it, know it, feel it, until you don't have to, until it is established in your mind. Your inner being already knows. The truth of you exists. The truth of you is, whether you believe it or not. But you have a mind, and you must establish that idea in the mind. This is all. We are thankful and grateful for the opportunity to share. We are thankful for the vessel. We are thankful for each of you who are offering fertile ground for these transmissions. We are here for you. From our now non-physical perspective, offering that which we know to be true in support of you, that you might know and be a powerful creator, anchored, rooted in source, now as you walk in this third dimensional, your third dimensional reality on your excellent planet Earth. We are here for you. We celebrate you, and we love you. We love you. We love you.